other person too. Other in that spoon handle here. Here comes KVS. We're gonna be in the 30s. It's only 11 fastest, 30.2. Looks like trouble for F1 driver. He's out. What happened with him? Oh, terminal damage. He wrecked it. So he'll be out of Q1. He'll be out of qualifying. He'll have to start at the back. Just give me 2 moments. Sorry for that delay. We were having some audio issues with the headset. So looks like Luke is the only one yet to set a lap. And and this moron lied to us. So apparently I'm gonna be in severe trouble for bringing this moron in. So, anyways, so that one driver out. Our bottom three, including this dumbass. At this point, it's gonna be Brad's, Wiso, and AK that'll be going out, possibly, and KVS and Egg, the two Alfa Romeos, are at the cusp. They're at the cusp of being eliminated. And qualifying has ended. So, question is, will Wiso and Brad's ain't going through. So, it looks like it's gonna be, so it falls on to Luke, KVS, AK, and Egg. See who will survive. And looks like AK, he's not going to continue on. So it looks like KVS will be okay. Even with Luke's time, once he goes in, he'll be through. So KVS will be moving forward. And yeah, Luke goes to fifth. And KVS stays alive. So the bottom five to be eliminated at Q1, we say goodbye to the Williams team of AK and Wiso. The Alpine of F1 driver because of an accident, and the two Haas's of Brad's and Idiot out as well. Alright, so here we are in the Q2 now. And we'll see what people are going to be going out with. Egg is the first one out on track, along with Jack and Reese. And now Dylan joins. And the three of them have opted to go out on soft tires. And so is Red. He's coming out. He's on the soft tires. But Luke has come out on track. He is on the medium compound tires. So this is an interesting little turn for there. And Gecko also following suit too. Paul God's also on mediums too. Well, the question is, how will it fare for these guys? That is the question. And, well, we will be on deck with Egg, as he will be first up. See what he can do. There he goes. On board of him, making his way through 1 and 2. Nice and easy through the first little straight. Here he comes into the twisty sections of 3 through 6. Now, and per Matt, gonna say this, here comes Egg out of turn 7 and onto the McMoran Speedway straight. I don't know why you want me to say it, but that's where Egg went through, the McMoran Speedway straight. That's what Matt wanted me to do, so Matt, there you go. You got your wish on the McMoran. Got his wish on the McMoran piece, so here we go. Egg making his way through that nice long curve around. And here we go. Let's see what kind of lap he'll produce. Makes his way around the last corner, that nice little hairpin. I will be honest, in terms of track limits, as Egg 30.2 to kick it off, and it gets smashed apart by Reese with a 28.2. Jack puts in a 29.4. Here comes more people, perhaps. Anyways, in terms of track limits, the first 3 corners might see some track limit warnings and penalties, especially out of turn 2 and heading into turn number 3. That is definitely one to keep an eye out for track limit warnings and penalties, as TB goes fastest with a 27.6, 6/10 faster than Reese. And right where Egg just went off on turn 8, that's also another area that could result in some track limit warnings and penalties. So that's something to be careful of. Those are some areas to be careful of. As more drivers keep filling in, Luke 29.1, Gecko with a 29.9, the Chiller with a 30.1, and that is that. Now Dylan's lap right there, you see a 53. We're not counting it because I think he must have had an incident, so that's why he's that far down. But knowing him, he will improve to a massive degree. And he's invalidated the lap anyway, so he's going to have to go again. Let's see what Red Fire Tiger can do. And that was Beatnik that finished his lap. 29.6. And Luke Luke, he improved his time only by a couple tenths, but not close enough. Red Fire Tiger sits in 7th with a 30.1. As these guys get some new laps, get to finish their times and everything, here's last week's winner, Matt. Here he comes across the line, puts it 4th fastest. So if I had to be safely guess, the top 4 of TB, Reese, Luke, and Matt, they should be safe to move forward to Q3. Once Dylan gets out on track to set a new lap, we'll have the answer for him. And then we have to wait for the other 4 to get laps in. That being Jordan, Payox, Polygod, and KVS. Payox now coming on through. And so is Jordan. Jordan's setting up on his low run. And he's got Polygod on an outlap right behind. Look at the speed of Payox just into the braking zone. Gets to about 203 miles an hour. I think with DRS and in the right slipstream, some of these guys could get close to 205, maybe between 205 to 210. And who's second? Was that somebody in trouble? I can't tell, but oh, Jordan had a little flick of understeer, and that just cost him his lap. That's gonna cost his lap, and off he goes, diving off to bail into the pits. So now Payox back in the fray. As we have under 6 minutes to go here in this event. And here comes Payox. He puts it 4th fastest, 29.4. And in terms of the medium tire runs, he's only he's only about half a second off of Luke. But now Dylan out and about on a new lap. Let's see if he can maintain his track limits and stay in tune. We're on board with him now. Polygod, there he is, going through turns 9 as well, looking on the screen there. And Dylan actually doing quite decent. So far, no effect of the track limits. He's doing pretty strong. Here he comes around. Oh, goes wide. That's not good. Goes wide out of turn 11. That's gonna cost him a little bit of time. And he's catching up to Polygod too. Let's see what they get once they cross the line. We'll see what Polygod's got. And Polygod had to redo, but Dylan goes to 8th fastest with a 29.7. It's okay, but it puts him in the cusp of being knocked out of Q1, out of Q2. So now Jordan, Polygon, KVS are the only three yet to set laps. And at this current present time, the Chiller and Egg are at risk of being knocked out of Q2, and Gecko, Dylan, and Redfire Tiger are also at risk during the cusp of being knocked out. So here comes Polygon now. Polygon had at least ran the first round in the Mercedes. Missed the second round. Did he miss the third round or did he compete? I can't remember. But then he got moved to Aston Martin, and now here he is. Here he goes. Comes across the line, third fastest. 28.4. Here comes KVS now. And he goes 10th fastest with a 29.7. So that'll bump Redfire Tiger and Gecko to the bottom 5. The question is KVS going to, even with KVS saying, is he going to join them? Because he's in the cusp right now. As Egg and Polygon going slow in the areas. I think it's because they're out of fuel and they need to get back into the field. Here, Redfire Tiger is back out on track. And Jordan loose out of turn 12. That's not good for him. He's got to try. He may have to go another round at this present time. And he's only 12th fastest. So Jordan's going to have to go again. Because that mishap of that corner. And there he goes. Gets a little understeer and oversteer out of turn 2. And he just dumps it off. I'm not sure how much time is left because it keeps saying that there's yellows in sector 3. Oh, there it is. So we have a minute left. So Jordan, unfortunately, is going to be knocked out of Q1. Is going to be knocked out of Q2. So Jordan will be knocked out of Q2. KVS. So KVS is going to try to go maybe one more lap. Dylan has not come out of the pit, so he will not continue. But I'm not sure. Will he make it? Will he make it? Will he actually make it through to Q3? I don't know. But anyways, basically 29.6 is the time to beat to get yourselves into Q3, most likely. And that is being held by Beatnik right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. But yeah, Egg out of Q2. And Jordan out of Q2 as well. So Egg out of Q2, Jordan out of Q2. Question is, who will join them? First up, we have Red. What can he do? Here he comes. He just has to keep cool in momentum. Can he keep it going? Is this through turn 12? Into 13. Now the last corner. Can't mess it up. Here he comes. Down the front stretch. Can he get it done? Comes across the line. He goes 5th fastest. Very nice run. KVS invalidates, so he's out. All hope is on Gecko now. So will he knock Beatnik out? Can he get it done? And he does. So Beatnik. Yeah, Beatnik can't improve. So Beatnik, Dylan, KVS, Jordan, and Egg knocked out of Q2. So it is Jack, Payox, The Chiller, Matt, Gecko, Redfire Tiger, Polygon, Reese, Luke, and TB moving on to Q3. So out of those 10, who will set themselves above the rest and get themselves on pole? RPL Q3 will be coming up right after this. So here we are in Q3. A lot of people are out on deck, with the exception of Polygon, Redfire Tiger, Luke, and Reese are staying behind, but all the others are out on the track. Matt decides to fall back just a little bit, gives a bit of space for these guys. And speaking about with Matt, why don't we do a little lap with him? See what he can do. So we're just gonna stay silent for a sec, and you can hear the noises of Matt's McLaren. So as Matt's finishing up his lap, Times are piling in. Gecko 28.7, DeChiller 28.8, and Matt will come across, put in a 28.1. And TB will put on top with a 27.7. Now, looks like our next participant to be coming across the line is going to be Reese. So Reese will be up on deck. And he'll have, and Redfire Tiger will be coming up behind him. So here comes Reese, comes across the line. And 27.6. Well, that puts Reese technically on the top for right now. Redfire 28.9 puts him at the bottom. Puts him at the bottom of the pile right now. Looks like our next driver is going to be Payox. So here he comes. And it is going to be a 28.2. Polygon's going to have to redo his run. Invalidated his lap. Now here comes Luke, and he gets a little assistance from Jack in the AlphaTauri. Just before the braking zone, Jack moves over, and that's a nice little helpful move on Jack's part. There comes Luke now. So Luke, winner of Bahrain and in Spain. So I wonder if he will get his third win of the season. Here he comes across the line. 27.7. He's only 300ths off a TB. So, Luke, only good enough for third right now. But anyways, what mentioning beforehand about with the drivers that won so far. Like I said, Luke was the winner in rounds 1 and 2, which was Bahrain in Spain. Monaco was won by Maxwell, who is not here tonight, unfortunately. And Matt GW, who's sitting 4th right now, he is last week's winner from Baku. And interestingly, I just want to make sure I'm reading this correct. I just want to make sure everything is correct. But in terms of their points, even including wins, let's see. Just want to be absolutely certain. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. In terms of all the races won, that was run so far, Reese, Luke, and Matt are the only 3 drivers to have run every race in, which was 4 races so far. They're the only 3 to finish 5th or better. They're the only 3 to have done that in every event so far in Season 5. Now, unfortunately, one record was broken. I was interested to see if Reese was going to continue his 2nd place streak and get 2nd in Baku last week, but no, he was only sufficient to get 4th. Because in Monaco, Bahrain, and Spain, he was 2nd in those races. Man, Matt with the thank you, because I told him because he wanted me to do the McMoron Speedway thing. I told him I'd do it, and I did it. So I told him he got his wish. He gave me thanks for it, so. But anyway, let's see. And everybody's out and about. And this is basically the last lap of qualifying. So the Chiller is going to be the first one of those runners to cross, and he's binned it. So the only way he can get another lap, he just basically has to cut the circuit in order to do it, but can't do that because it's illegal. So the Chiller stays where he is with that 28.8. So Reese, on his final run lap, he has the top time with a 27.6, only 600ths clear of his teammate TB, and nearly a 10th up on Luke, who's in 3rd. And as the field starts to bunch up in the last few corners here, as they get themselves ready, and Red Fire will take off, along with looks like Jack, and Jack actually can't get it started. Jack actually, and Red has invalidated too. So Red will not move forward. Jack will be starting 10th. And Polygod will be starting 9th. Red Fire will be starting in 8th. The Chiller will be starting in 7th. So 7 through 10 has been decided. But who will have pole? That's the question. Who is going to be pole? And TB can't answer it. TB can't answer it. He invalidated. Let's see if Reese can improve. Here he comes across the line. And improves by only a 10th. 27.5. Luke's barely improving. Luke is barely improving. So is it going to be pole for Reese? There goes Payox. Comes across. And he only goes 4th fastest. All hope lies on Luke now. Can he put his Red Bull on pole? He's got the Gecko with him. And 2nd fastest, it's not enough. Reese is on pole. So Reese gets a pole position. I believe this is... This is Reese's second pole position this season, and he has done it. So Reese on pole, Luke second place, TB third, and that is your top three. So Luke, the Red Bull filling of a Mercedes sandwich. Paul God's not happy with the track limits. He said these track limits can stuff it. Well, I did say in the stream earlier, turns 1, 2, 3, and 8 expect quite a bit of track limit warnings and penalties. That's for certain. And as we get ready for the race to go running. Ugh. And as you can see, by the way, while we look at the screen, if you noticed, TB and Reese both share the number 79. And if you're curious, just want to mention here, the reason for that, and a bunch of these drivers also are wearing the number 79 colors as well, is because for the Alpha Tauri driver of Beatnik. We have found out the other day that unfortunately Beatnik's grandfather has passed away. So Beatnik, who won the F2 feature earlier today, he was definitely emotional when the race in his grandfather's honor, and he is planning to go today to do the same thing, put some good points for his grandfather. That is for sure. So thoughts to him, and just thoughts to Beatnik and everything, and yeah, I just don't have the words for it right now. But anyways, moving on to the formation lap. Here we go. So here's our grid. It is Reese and Luke in row 1, TB and Payox in row 2, Matt and Gecko in row number 3, row 4, The Chiller and Red Fire Tiger, row 5, Polygon and Jack, Beatnik and Dylan in row 6, KVS, Jordan, row 7, AK and Egg make row 8, Wiso and Brads is in row 9, and Dumbass and F1 Driver in the back row. Beatnik, Dylan, KVS, AK and Wiso opting for the hard compound tires. Brads, Dumbass, F1 Driver, Egg, Payox and Matt opted for the medium compound tires, and the rest of the grid opting for there. And let's take a look, and oh, thank you for that one, Reese. Apparently it's going to rain at the end of the race. Oh no. Oh no. That might not be good. So these guys might opt for are definitely gonna opt for a 2-stop, 1 slick stop, and maybe an interstop. And as the drivers line up to get into position, so here we go. And here we go. The 5 lights come on to start the French Grand Prix. And we are off and away. Reese gets a really good jump. TB also with that. And also, look at the wide side. That's the chiller going up. And it's 4 wide going into turn 1. That's the... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And we got a mess. And we have a mess. That's Gecko around. And Jack... Payox plummeting down the order. And we got more trouble. Jordan and one of the other drivers around. Was that in trouble? Was that AK? Well, someone was in trouble, but a lot of messy, very messy here. Very, very messy, to say the least. Very messy event that start so far. Lots of, wow. Yowie, wowie. I don't have the words for that kind of start. That was a nightmare of a start. But Luke puts it up on top, and he's got both Mercedes hounding his tail. Both Mercedes hounding the tail. F1 driver falling backwards just a little bit. Does he have damage already to his Alpine? And looks like he does. Yes, he does. He's got heavy damage on the left side of the wing. That's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him just a little bit. And KBS immediately first person with penalty. Anyways, Luke leads the charge, and he's got Reese. It's Reese, TB, Matt, the Chiller, Red Fire Tiger, Polygon, Jack, Beatnik, and Payox making that top 10. As they're making their way through that twisty turning section, and Dylan in trouble. Dylan has spun out of turn 2. That is a mess there, but he is okay, and Jordan gets his penalty too. Comes TB. See a TB or that can make a challenge, and there goes Dylan again, spun out. This time in turn number 6. As these cars moving through, it's a 3-horse race between Luke, Reese, and TB, and almost 2 seconds back is Matt. So the championship defender looking to hold off a hard charge from the Mercedes duo. Meanwhile, Payox under threat from Jordan. That's for the last position of the points. Gecko gets past the 2 Haas's, and Payox in the pits. Payox pitting early. So Payox must have had problems. He's in the pits now. And he is getting a wing change and going onto the hard compound tires. So something happened a little bit ago, and it's caused Payox to lose loads of time. I mean, literally, Payox, the biggest loser so far in this race. He started in 4th place. He started in 4th. He started in 4th. He's now all the way back in 18th as Reese clears Luke, courtesy of DRS, and he's up at the point. Well, now the question is, can TB try to close in the gap and try to get himself into 2nd to help his teammate out? Because that's Mercedes' goal, most likely. They want to get clear. And Wiseau has crashed it. And we have a VSC deployed. And there's Wiseau right there at the exit of turn 9. He is out of the race. He must have lost it. And he went off and hard into the wall. We're on board with Payox. There he is right there on the left side of your screen. So that is the end of it. And Red Fire Tiger and Polygon coming in now, along with Jack. As now Green comes back in the picture. as Red goes on to the medium tires. Jack. So I don't know what Jack's going to do. Paul God's on the mediums. No, Paul God on the hards. Jack on the mediums. Jordan also on the mediums. Has to replace the wing. AK joining the penalty department. And loses 9th place to Gecko. And interestingly, AK up into the points. Now moving on, looks like the Alfa Romeos might consider maybe swapping. Egg gaining ground on KVS. Will KVS give? No, KVS, Egg runs out of road. So he can't make it through. So Egg up into 8th place. KVS up in the 7th. Still in 7th. TB still having problems. He can't get clear of Luke. Reese is trying to pull away from Luke, but Luke's still maintaining grip on him. And off they go. And those two are building up a 2.5 second lead over Matt. Those three are. And Egg finally clears KVS. Oh, nope. Yeah, Egg clears KVS. And Egg up in the 7th place now. Now, TB. He wants to get close enough to try to make an attack, but unfortunately he cannot. He doesn't have an opportunity to do so. And as you can see, Weissel leaving the session. So that's unfortunate for Weissel, only lasting almost about a lap and a half before disaster struck, and he went out of the event. And TB loses, gets a little understeer, and he wound up cutting in too deep out of 11 and gets himself a 3-second penalty for that reason. But currently, as it stands right now, it's still Reese, Luke, TB, Matt, The Chiller, Beatnik, Egg, KVS, Gecko, and AK. So very surprising. Two of the big movers being Egg and KVS, and the Alfa Romeos being 7th and 8th right now. So the Alfa Romeos showing some signs of being alive in this event. But not for long. Here goes Gecko on the inside of KVS into turn 3. Cuts that corner just a little bit. I'm not sure. It looked like it did, but I couldn't tell from that angle. But Gecko up into P8 now. And will he have enough speed to try to get clear of Egg? And nope. Does not have enough momentum to do it. So he doesn't have the momentum to do it. But TB still trying to. But still, the same scenario can be said for the top 3. TB wants to clear Luke. Luke wants to keep TB back and try to reel in Reese. And Reese wants to get clear of Luke and be able a second clear. But that's becoming a bit of a chore for those two. I mean, literally, those guys are all going to be a bit there. And out of the final corner, Egg in. Oh no! Oh, that was a horrible hit. That was a horrible crash by Egg there. Oh man, look at that barrier. Look at the barrier by the Emirates sign right there. Look how bent that is. That Boeing right there. Good Lord. And Egg out of the race. He just got oversteer. He just got some understeer on the exit of the final corner and just boom up into the wall. And that is the end of Egg, that's for sure. That is very tragic. But with a safety car now deployed, this could work for the drivers in front. They can pit and get some new tires on. But here's the thing: is Mercedes willing to risk doing a double stack? And looks like they are gonna risk it. They are gonna risk it. They are risking a double stack. So Reese in the pits. Off and away, and that double stack wasn't too bad by looks of it, but it is going to cost TB one position. In terms of the front four, so he is going to come out in 8th place, and he is going to be behind KVS. So KVS has moved up into 5th place. Matt in 4th. Luke couldn't be clear of Reese in the pits, so he is in 3rd right now because Beatnik is sitting in. Because Beatnik is sitting in 2nd place. So Beatnik in 2nd. This is going to be interesting. Will that mean that Beatnik is going to help Reese? Now Beatnik's probably going to help Luke. I think on the restart, Beatnik's probably going to move over and let Luke through, so he can get some ground on Reese. So that could, it could work to Reese's advantage to get a little jump to get clear, but it will result in Luke maybe either gaining or losing a couple tenths of time. So here's the top 10 as it stands. Unless these guys on the hard tires, they come in now. If they do. And they're not, they're staying out. Okay, so top 10, it is Reese, Beatnik, Luke, Matt, KVS, TB, AK, Red Fire Tiger, DeChiller, and Jack. Actually, in fact, Red Fire Tiger on a recovery run. He was involved in that the VSC incident. Had the pit during the VSC, but he has made the recovery. He's sitting up in 8th place right now. In terms of the standings-wise, constructor standings-wise, Red Bull is not looking too good. They're relying their hope on Luke right now to get some really strong points, but his teammate Payox, after being involved in an incident from the first lap, he's still falling all the way back down to the 16th. I do feel sorry for Gecko. He's behind Brad's in one of the Haas's and stuck behind Idiot in the other Haas. So probably this time by, safety cars should be coming in. Should. Looks like it may not because Dylan, oh nope, never mind, it is coming in, okay. It's just a little bit behind, a little bit off. Anyways, Reese controlling the field. Beatnik, most likely knowing him, when they cross the line to get the race going, he probably will forfeit second to Luke. So Luke can hunt down Reese, and Reese has bolted off. Reese has bolted off, and TV, and here we go, as Beatnik surrenders the spot to Luke, and loses it to Matt. Beatnik falls to fourth, and Reese gets a 1.5 second jump over there, and KVS goes wide. Something happened there. TV moves up in the fifth place, and now gets clear Beatnik in the fourth. And more people getting penalties in trouble, and Redfire Tiger in trouble. Speaking of which, Redfire Tiger in trouble. So Redfire Tiger has some problems, and Jordan off into the wall. And Jordan into the wall at a turn in that backstretch, and that's the end of Jordan. So Jordan out of the event, and yeah. And I think it looks like AK must have missed his braking zone. Yeah, he's missing a wing. He is missing a wing. That's unfortunate for AK. So something must have happened between those guys. But anyways, Reese, 2.2 second lead over Luke. So that is very helpful for sure. Now TB, he's coming back to life. He's back and forth, but he wants to get clear of Matt so he can get back in the third and try to put some pressure on Luke. Beatnik hanging strong in 5th place. KVS hanging on in 6th place, and he's got Jack right behind in 7th right now. There comes Jack up and along. That's Dylan in trouble in turn 7, and Jack clears KVS